MK Dons versus Portsmouth. It's 21st against 8th in League One as the two sides come out, led by Lee Doherty, this afternoon's referee. The Dons' form has had a bit of an upturn in recent weeks. 5 points from a possible 12, rather than the 1 from 33 they picked up previously. So that is positive. And they make 3 changes this afternoon for the visit of Pompey, which sees George Williams come in the heart of the defence for Regan Poole. David Kasumu is in. Ben Reeves drops out. Rhys Healey comes in for Sam Nombe. Nombe made his first start since September on Boxing Day. Rhys Healey makes his first start since September today. Nichols in goal. The back four is Britton, Williams, Walsh and Lewington. Houghton will sit in front of that back four with McGrandles and Kasumu slightly wider. He'll be supporting Healey and Mason up front. On the bench, Stuart Moore, Regan Poole, Bailey Cargill, Ben Reeves, Kieran Agard, Hiram Boateng and Sam Nombe. Portsmouth, who travel to Buckinghamshire off the back of 2 very good wins against the top 2, in fact, in the division. A 1-0 victory over Ipswich, followed up by a 2-0 win against Wycombe Wanderers. Sees them in good form, backed by over 5,000 who've made the trip from the south coast. They've pretty much packed out the north stand to our left-hand side. They've got Craig McGillivray in goal, the Scotsman. The back four of Walks, Raggett, Burgess and Bolton. Naylor and Close will sit. Curtis, Harness and Cannon will support Ellis, Harrison up front. The former MK Dons defender Paul Downing is on the bench. It's MK Dons versus Portsmouth, 104.5 FM in and around Milton Keynes, and I follow MK Dons everywhere else that you've got it. It's a big ask today really for the Dons. The run overall, of course, is still very poor indeed, but it has been better recently. Just that 1 defeat in the last 4 games, and wins against Oxford and points picked up on the road at Doncaster and at Southend on Boxing Day. Portsmouth, well, this is slightly unfamiliar territory for them because 6 of their last 8 games have been at Fratton Park. They've only played twice on the road in the league since October, so their form has been good, and they've climbed from 15th, Luke, to 8th on the periphery of the playoffs, but actually away from home they've got no real form. 1-1, lost 1.
No. First thing that our colleagues from BBC Solent said was, away from home we just never know what we're going to get from this Portsmouth side. This is look, I know that we've already discussed that Russell Martin has turned things around and there has been a bounce, and the points tally has been better. They've got to start winning a few more games, and they are not getting out of trouble, and they need to start getting out of trouble. And I think psychologically, if they could push maybe 3 or 4 points above the relegation zone, Paul, I think it would make all the difference mentally.
Agreed. Ball forward. We're off and underway at Stadium MK. Ball played up towards Joe Mason, cleared by Andy Cannon. Dons in possession. Joe Walsh, who's got a new centre-back partner this afternoon in George Williams. Regan Poole dropped to the bench. Here's David Kasumu, another player recalled to the starting lineup. Lewington, Joe Walsh. Russell Martin had some good things to say about Dean Lewington after the game against Southend. I can't say I wholeheartedly agreed with him. I thought Lewington misplaced far more passes than not. So his distribution today and his passing will be interesting to see. He's got a foul there. He's won that one, I think, rather than anything else. He's bought that a little bit, as we know Dean Lewington can do. And he has a free kick, which he passes short to Kasumu. First minute played then at Stadium MK against Portsmouth. And the Dons have had possession for all of it, I think. Lewington passes it again to Kasumu. On to Gilby, loses possession. Christian Burgess clears up to the halfway line. That's a fairly strong challenge on Callum Britton by Ronan Curtis, who scored in his last 3 matches, Curtis, and he scored in 7 of his last 8. Or rather, he scored 7 in the last 8 matches. Healy picks the ball up, 30 yards out, looking for some room. He goes over, that's a foul by Tom Naylor. Absolutely no question about that, Luke.
Healy knew it was coming as well. He thought, well, if I can get this away, I will. Saw the player coming in from the side and thought, well, I'm going to get crunched. I'll kick the ball away, I'll kick it forward, win the free kick, and that's how he's done. And those are the intricacies in quality that you get with somebody like Rhys Healy. The ability to recognise the situation in a split second, Paul, and go, I'm not going to win this ball. There's nobody in front of me. Just time it right, poke it forward, take the free kick, boom, done. It's clever.
And I think if somebody asked me in the press room earlier, do I think MK Dons will stay up? And I said if Healy and Mason play the majority of matches this season, then they will
get goals.
But it's Healy is over it, as is Lewington. It's going to be Healy with his right foot. He tried to put it under the wall and it didn't really work.
He was banking on them all jumping, wasn't he?
Most of them did, to be fair, but not all. Here's Gilby. That looked like handball, but Gilby's got it back, as he know. It's taken away by James Bolton and cleared down the right-hand side. Portsmouth always followed well, of course, but today, when they've got almost 6,000 tickets, it's going to be a job for the MK Dons fans to out-sing their visitors.
Giving it a go.
They're giving it a go. They're so spread out, of course, in this stadium, the home supporters, whereas the away fans, when there is numbers of them, they're all very compact. So if there is 6,000 of each, you're always going to hear the away ones more. But Dons have started okay, actually, in this game. 3 minutes played.
Great.
They've got a free kick just inside their own half. Luke Ashmead and myself, Paul Dixon, on a Sunday afternoon.
And it's all a bit wild at the moment, isn't it, Paul? I always lose track of where I am and who I am. I mean, most of that's to do with the alcohol, but, you know.
That time of year. Ball played forward by Lewington. Kasumu plays it up to Rhys Healy. Once again has picked the ball up about 30-35 yards out. On that occasion, though, he's lost it. That's a good interception from George Williams. He's come in to do a job. Maybe just get his foot in a little bit this afternoon, up against the likes of Ronan Curtis and Harness and Harrison, and Williams almost lost possession there on the edge of his penalty area. He saw off Curtis in the end and the ball was put out of play. Well, that wasn't what he was brought into the team was.
Rust, was that a bit of rust from George Williams? Just a little rusty there.
Yeah, just hasn't played for a few weeks, of course. Ball played down by Harness to Curtis. Opportunity for Portsmouth really to see the Dons penalty area. The first time ball played in, Nichols thought about coming for it. Joe Walsh headed it away. It bounces down at the feet of Harness and played forward. Opportunity here, and they've stolen in Portsmouth. It's to the back and shot comes in and it's cleared, or hit rather, McGrandles, and then a swipe over the bar by Tom Naylor.
Callum Britton slipped over a very, very unfortunate moment then, as I think it was Ronan Curtis, wasn't it, who was trying to get the ball across? Was it Curtis? Yeah. No, Marcus Harness was trying to get the ball across, and he slipped just at the wrong moment.
Well, they're going to play it short again, and Walsh has just about got it away to Lee Nichols, who's under pressure, doesn't clear it particularly well. Harness gets the ball forward. This is happening more and more as Curtis shoots. It's blocked, and there's an opportunity for a shot and a good foot in there from David Kasumu before Harness could clear, but they're still going. Portsmouth. This all came about as it's going to come off, did it? It's Kasumu makes the challenge on the byline.
Oh, that's brilliant football, that.
All played to the edge of the 6-yard box. Harness with the attempted shot. It was cleared by McGrandles, and now Gilby can come forward. He's got two ahead of him. Healy to his left, Mason out on the right-hand side, and Healy wins a throw inside the Portsmouth half.
Right, OK, look, I know that this playing from the back thing is a thing. It's not going to go anywhere, Ross might say, but pick your times. You can't just pick your moments. Surely,
gonna happen, though,
surely you don't have to coach somebody to say that wasn't the right moment to do that.
Lewington gets past Cannon, plays the ball towards the penalty area. Joe Mason doesn't touch the ball yet, and he won't do on this occasion either. Portsmouth, well, Dons had possession for about the first 4 minutes, but Portsmouth are already seeming to be stamping their authority, don't they? Yeah. The ball comes off Jordan Houghton and goes out for a throw to Portsmouth.
Portsmouth look like the home side.
Yeah.
And these are the little intricacies that help when you have so many travelling supporters making that noise. I would imagine those away players almost feel like they're playing at home, although this is a much nicer stadium than Fratton Park.
Aren't they all?
Most. I'm joking.
Portsmouth,
but it really is a much nicer stadium than Fratton Park.
Portsmouth in possession, but the Dons have got it back. Joe Walsh to Dean Lewington down the left-hand side, swings ball in. Oh, Mason could be in here. Mason, can he get there ahead of the defender? He's got his back to goal now. Still Joe Mason. He's been pushed wide a little bit there. Now Gilby.
What a ball, by the way, Paul. What a ball from Dean Lewington.
We started this game so much better than Boxing Day. Here's Mason now, looking to get into the penalty area, left-hand side, all the way across. It's over the top of Healy and McGrandles. Britain charges down the attempted clearance. It's going to fall to Houghton, is it? No. Harness knocks it forward, and Joe Walsh will get the ball back to his goalkeeper. Ellis Harrison is the player chasing him down, cleared by Nichols, and McGrandles puts the ball out of play.
Well, I mean, this game started at 100 miles an hour, and that's mainly because of Portsmouth. The Dons have just took a short moment to react to the speed of the start, and I've always thought they've started quite slowly, MK Dons, but they've been forced to play a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper because of the visitors.
Throw which Anton Walks will take. It's headed away by Lewington, on again by McGrandles, chested down by Tom Naylor. Walks loops the ball forward, and it's headed out to play by Joe Walsh. 9 minutes played on Three Counties Sport, BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford play yesterday, beating Aston Villa, of course, but
big
4
result that was, wasn't it?
Just
Goodness me.
Well, see, my money's on Pearson keeping them up, being replaced by Ranieri, and then Watford winning the league next year.
That's a great shout, yeah.
Ball with Jordan Houghton on the halfway line. Williams to Houghton. Back to Williams again to the halfway line. 0-0. Luton are on digital radio, just to bring up to date with all our frequencies. If you are just tuning in, they're at Bristol City. Wickham entertaining Coventry on 98 FM. Stevenage at Plymouth on 95.5. Ball in the midfield, looped forward by Harrison. Both teams claiming that one, but it's gone the way of the visitors. Portsmouth in a purple kit this afternoon. It's not that much different from their blue kit, actually. It's hardly a change strip, really, is it?
No.
You know, I mean...
No, it's bluey purple as well, isn't it?
In fact, I half thought it was their home kit from a distance. It's only when they get slightly closer that I realise it's purple, but you can't call that a change strip by any stretch. Anyway, that's what they're playing in. Dons are in their white kit with the flash of gold. Throw taken over on the far side by Anton Walks. Kasumu loops the ball forward. Mason is beaten to it by Christian Burgess. Started his career at Middlesbrough. Ball up to the edge of the penalty area for Portsmouth. Flashed shot over the bar by Ellis Harrison.
Well, they're coping so far, aren't they, MK Dons defenders? One or two little shaky moments, and they've got to be absolutely sure that they can play out from the back before they do. Sometimes, you know, more than anything else, not just to get themselves out of trouble, but just to make it easier make it harder for the Portsmouth players to know what he's going to do. Just every now and again, hit it long. You know, 1 in 10, hit it long.
Walsh has gone then to Nichols. Back to Nichols, who was invited 2 players on. It's just, and then launches it forward. He only does, Luke, what he would have done anyway. No? I don't know if I'm missing something here. He passes it to Walsh, he invites 2 players to challenge him, and then he just whacks it forward anyway, which is what he would have done from the goal kick had he taken it, you know, but I don't know.
No, listen, everything you said, I agree. And I've been one who's kind of been a bit critical of people moaning about stuff like that happening. But I've generally moaned when they've been leading, and I've thought, well, they're winning. It doesn't matter when they're winning. If you're winning, you do what you want.
You've seen them get in trouble more often than not.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of pressure on Lee Nichols as well.
You know, the team that arguably is mentally shot, do you need to put that much more pressure on them?
Well, quite, yeah. Like you say, if they're top of the table and already 1-0 up in this game, then you give them that, don't you? Here's Lewington, left-hand side, just cuts in towards the centre circle inside his own half. Jordan Houghton's got only one option really, and that's his goalkeeper. 12 minutes played.
I don't mind that. Sorry, Paul. I don't mind that. I don't mind going back and then playing it out. It's having a goal kick and doing that. It just and then playing it long. It just seems a bit pointless.
Well, Grandals has lost possession. Ball played forward. Too close. Edge of the penalty area. Shot from Curtis comes off the calf of Williams and goes out for a corner. The ref was just he wanted to speak, didn't he?
It was Jordan Houghton, that challenge on Harness that he put in. It wasn't a foul challenge necessarily. It was just a very strong challenge, and I think the referee was just saying, be careful. Didn't do anything other than have a word with him. Good refereeing. 30 minutes played. They're knocking on the door, aren't they, Paul? Yeah, they're kind of knocking. Yeah, absolutely. There's a cluster of players around the edge of the penalty area. The ball's curled in towards the penalty spot. It's headed away by Lewington, not particularly convincingly. Shot comes in and deflected out for another corner. That was Harness, who's looking fairly difficult to pin down in this game. That's second opportunity he's had, or second shot that he's had. One over the bar, one deflected. It's a second corner in quick succession, and as you say, Luke, you would not be surprised to see Portsmouth fashion an opportunity they're
here.
In charge at the moment.
Oh, completely. 40 minutes played close in. Nichols takes, and the ball's played forward by Nichols. Ball goes out of play. Throw to the Dons. Taken quickly. Houghton. Good ball that. Across to the left-hand side. Dean Lewington. Little pass to David Kasumu. Looks to turn away and does so from Ben Close, product of the Youth Academy at Portsmouth. Only one in the side actually who's come through the system. Walsh across to Lewington. Joe Mason just overran that and then pushed Tom Naylor over. Well, they had to name the Portsmouth goalkeeper that I had to just double check, McGillivray. It's not the easiest to say, but we haven't had to say it yet in 15 minutes, Luke.
No.
He's not done anything, has he? Not touched it until now, this goal kick.
This is
free kick.
It almost feels like it almost feels at the moment a little bit like damage limitation, which is an awful thing to say. But that's how it feels at the moment. But they've defended well, to be fair. MK Dons have defended well, so let's look at the positives.
Shot's going to come in from distance and saved by Nichols. That was Marcus Harness again. That's the third opportunity he's had to run at the defence, and on that occasion he went for goal and it was saved down low by Nichols. So ball played forward by the Dons. Flicked on there by Naylor, almost helped the home side out, but Portsmouth do clear down the line. James Bolton puts it out of play. We've had 16 minutes at Stadium MK. Three Counties Sports on a Sunday afternoon. We're back with you, of course, on New Year's Day. Dons are at home against Bristol Rovers.
Where are you New Year's Day, Paul?
I am at the early kick-off there. I'll be done and dusted by now on New Year's Day. I'm at Millwall versus Luton. Could be tasty. Early kick-off on New Year's Day, it'll be fine. Here's Joe Walsh. Plays it to Dean Lewington. The ball up towards Joe Mason. Mason's not got into this game at all yet. Free kick to Portsmouth, just inside the Dons half. Portsmouth half. Dean Lewington's got in the face of the referee a little bit there. The Dons captain, particularly upset with referee.
Elsewhere, Tranmere 0, Blackpool 1, Wycombe 0, Coventry 1 on 98 FM. They don't have a good record against Coventry, the Chairboys. Lincoln are beating Ipswich by 1-0. Doncaster 0, Sunderland 1. 0-0 in all the other featured games, including this one, Paul. Early kick-off, Gillingham 1, Rochdale 0. And just obviously looking at the likes of Tranmere, Rochdale, So Rochdale losing is a bonus. Tranmere are losing. We need AFC Wimbledon, Lincoln and Accrington. Really, they're the sides that we need to see drop points.
Ball played forward by Andy Cannon, former Rochdale player. Bolton challenged by Lewington. Throw to Portsmouth, who were controlling this. First couple of minutes, the Dons forced a corner and just had a few moments, but Portsmouth are in charge in this game. Haven't actually created any clear-cut opportunities. A couple of efforts that have been deflected wide, and Nichols made a save, but
nothing. Yeah, no. So defensively, great. They've just got to work out how to do it the other end. I'm just wondering if Cannon hits a shot, is that shot fired in? that was Paul leaving space for tumbleweed, yes. By the way.
Sometimes, even on radio, silence
is the best way to deal with my ridiculousness.
Ball in the centre circle with Ben Close. Out to Anton Walks to take on Callum Britton. He's got two up against him now, actually. Conor McGrandles, he's got past Britton, has he, on the outside, looking to create room for the cross, and he forces the corner. They're just better, Luke. They are just better, and it's a bit unfair when they put Anton Walks on the team sheet and he doesn't walk at all. He runs. There we go. I thought just 2 for 2. It's 2 for 2. I've got one more, by the way, before the end of the game. Okay, all right. Are you holding that one back, though?
I'm holding that one back.
He's done two in very quick succession.
I know, 2 in quick succession is wrong. Anyway, you're right. Yes, they're in control of this.
Ball played in then from this corner, looped in towards the penalty spot again. It's going to be cleared by Jordan Houghton, out for a throw. 25 yards out by the east stand. Aforementioned Anton Walks. More of a trot on that occasion. Played to Naylor, forward to Harness. Harness with a ball forward that is unreachable and goes out for a throw to MK Dons. 0-0. 19 minutes played at Stadium MK. Britton looking for someone. No one's moving really at all. The lack of urgency or showing for space is quite alarming, actually. It's headed away from Joe Mason, but the referee says he was pushed in the back. Mason and Healy haven't really been in the game. Healy got that free kick after a couple of minutes that he then fired into the wall, but this is my point earlier. Talk about what the Dons need. Someone to feed Healy and Mason, because if they're never seeing the ball, there's only so much. Strikers are judged on their goals, aren't they? But how can you score if you've not been given the ball? I've said so many times that it's lacking any type of creativity, as Lewington adds another one to the best-selling DVD he's going to bring out when he retires.
It's all going on at Adams Park. Wycombe 1, Coventry 2.
Ball played forward by Lewington. He looked to get in behind there, but it was too quick for Rhys Healy. Gilray comes out and collects. Joe Walsh heads it away onto the foot of Lewington, who loops it up to the halfway line. It's a sunny day in Milton Keynes. Cold, but fairly sunny, as ball's played forward towards Harrison. It got caught between Walsh's legs, but he was able to, knock it back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper's decided that it was an intentional back pass. I have to say, I probably agree with the referee. Walsh definitely intended to play it back. Whether he intended to play it back to the goalkeeper, well, the referee took his time and decided in the end it was going to be an indirect free kick. Lee Nichols picked it up, and the Dons have created a problem for themselves here, because it's a free kick which will probably be about 10 yards out.
I have no words.
21 minutes played at Stadium MK, and the delay is because the Dons players are surrounding the referee. I think they're asking the referee to speak to the assistant, who's just nodding his head. So the free kick will be, in fact it's closer than I thought, it's on the edge of the 6-yard box.
I don't think that's I'm not sure Joe Walsh was intending to pass it back to Lee Nichols.
I mean, the problem was he played it back, didn't he? And he didn't hammer it. So the referee was thinking, well, he played it back fairly tamely towards the goalkeeper. But anyway, the free kick, and of course, because they need to be as far back as they possibly can, they've all got to be on the line, because this is only 6 yards out. So they've got to be back on the line. Curtis, with 7 goals in his last 8 matches. It's indirect, of course. So Cannon has to play it to Curtis, or hope that it takes a deflection. The referee just waiting. The players, they're not back 10 yards, and the referee is trying to get them back 10 yards. 22 minutes played, it's goalless at Stadium MK. Portsmouth players now having a go at the referee. There's Curtis, it's blocked by, well, that looked by a hand if I'm honest, but anyway, it's cleared. It was Williams who blocked it. Bolton, now Cannon, left-footed into the penalty area, blocked on the edge of it, or taken down rather on the edge of the penalty area by James Bolton. Kasumu got the clearance in, it's hooked in by Close all the way across. It's going to bounce outside the penalty area. Healy is trying to challenge his man. It's coming forward now for MK Dons, and out towards Gilby, who won't get that. It's gone out of play, and it's the halfway point. 0-0, Luke.
That looked like 2 hands save from George Williams to me.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was. There was no question about it. He put his hands up and he palmed it away.
Bizarre 2 or 3 minutes. Anyway, it's come to absolutely nothing. I'm not sure. Fine, right, 23 minutes played. All I can say is that the shot that was hit goalwards looked like George Williams saved it. Anyway, Callum Britton heads this away and puts it out of play for a corner. Portsmouth dominating the first 23 minutes here. Not had a massive amount as far as goal-scoring opportunities, but MK Dons haven't tested McGilvray at all. Corner on this near side then that Ben Close will take for the visitors in their purple shirts. Referee having a word with David Kasumu and Lee Nichols. 2-1-2 Coventry against Wickham in League One. I'll bring up speed with all the other scores shortly. 24 minutes place. Close will play this right-footed. The referee blows the whistle. Left arm goes up from Ben Close. Close, right-footed, sprays it into the middle of the park. Header away was from Alex Gilby. It's come to the edge of the box. Long-range effort, just wide. Goodness me, that was a great shot from Andy Cannon on the far side. Struck that really nicely, and it must have been, what, 6 or 7 inches from the post.
Oh, Nichols was scrambling. Lee Nichols didn't have a prayer if that one had just been a few inches to his... or to the right, I suppose, as it went to the left of the goal. But they're closing in, Portsmouth. You can't, if this carries on for another 20 minutes, Luke, I can't see them going in at half-time without something on the score sheet, the visitors.
Yeah, Russell Martin has just said to him, next one, hit it long. Because Russell Martin has also got to be mindful of the fact that the fans are going to start to get fed up. That's negative energy. He doesn't need any negative energy from the supporters in this situation. So maybe hit the next one long. Anyway, here come Portsmouth. Great run from them. Little touch from Conor McGrandles. Probably did enough. Lovely football from Conor McGrandles. Nobody will notice that. Everyone will see the David Kasumu challenge. It was Conor McGrandles just little stabbed his boot in it, which ran away from the Portsmouth player and allowed David Kasumu to get it. A free kick's been given. Is that for Connor's touch?
McGrandles, yeah, he's booked him.
One of those. Take one for the team.
They're dominant though, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely dominant. Only one side in this at the moment, and that's Portsmouth. 25.5 minutes played. Free kick from the far side, floated across into the box. Plenty of bodies going up. Lee Nichols is going to get that. 3 players go down, and the referee's just going to wait here. I think one of them is Ellis Harrison, the other one is Dean Lewington. Joe Walsh has got up, but everyone went down in a big heap, and you know that there is probably a little bit of a collision when Dean Lewington takes a bit of time to get back up, and Ellis Harrison is looking a little uncomfortable, and I'm just wondering why they haven't got a physio coming on for Ellis Harrison. Is there a reason for that?
Well, he's here, isn't he? He's in the Don's dugout almost. This guy here, he's just being told he's okay, I think. Slightly strange not to be assessed at all for a head injury.
I feel slightly peeved if I was Ellis Harrison. You get so used to them coming on, don't you? But that has given both teams an opportunity to have a drink. We're going to be later here than everyone else, aren't we, I think? There have been a few delays, and in getting that back pass and then the subsequent free kick organised, I think we're going to be a little bit later than everyone else. Not a huge amount, but it's 0-0 anyway here on Three Counties Sport on BBC Three Counties Radio. The visitors, Portsmouth, are absolutely dominant in this game. They are by far and away the better of the two sides, and as it is at the moment, it's just a matter of time.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's given Russell Martin a little bit of time, and he's certainly telling. Healy and Mason have not been able to link up at all. That was the dream ticket, wasn't it? You know, two ex-Premier League strikers, certainly players who've scored goals in the Championship earlier in their career. Healy and Mason, the two former Cardiff players, but they've not been able to link up at all. And I don't know, they haven't seen the ball. The ball's not been in the Portsmouth final third enough to know whether that link-up's going to work. Another free kick to Portsmouth.
Bristol City are beating Luton by 1-0 in the Championship.
Look, when you're 21st and you're playing the team in 8th, who are, regardless of their away form, not really having much away form because they haven't played away from home much recently. They've come off the back of beating the top two, so they're going to have their tails up.
Free kick taken by the visitors, picked up by Ben Close. Close will deliver this. Harrison's looking for it. Harrison's runs for it. Header away by Jordan Houghton. Little shove in the back of Conor McGrandles. It's not going to get given, and that's going to be into the arms of Lee Nichols, and Nichols will hopefully maybe play this long. Walsh plays the ball across the penalty area to George Williams. Williams forward to McGrandles. McGrandles plays it first down to the right-hand side. Britain tries to play it forward. Their shoulders and their heads are so far down, MK Dons players at the moment, because you know what? Whatever they've done has been nowhere near as good as the opposition. And psychologically, they're not there today. The body language is awful, Paul. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
They look like just hanging on, or worse, waiting for the inevitable. And if the inevitable happens, they'll just sink even lower, and that's what Russell Martin's got to put up with. There's such a negative energy about the football club at the moment. We've been here before, of course, this time 2 seasons ago. We were all kind of on this weird Dan Machichi, they were waiting for what he was going to say next, where it became almost a laughable situation. This time it feels like there's a professionalism about the club, and yes, Russell Martin is
absolutely
is a good manager, ready to happen, but negativity, he just can't get rid of it straight away.
Goodness me, they're not even in this game at the moment. It's difficult to watch, in all honesty, because it's almost like there is a division between these two sides. Anyway, flicked header from Alex Gilby towards Joe Mason. Mason's offside.
The problem is, Luke, though, if they beat Southend, had they beaten Southend, you'd think, take this. Don't get embarrassed. If you lose 2-0, you move on. But I think they played so poorly against Southend for such a lot of that game, against a team Southend's first goal was MK Dons' first goal was the 100th Southend have conceded in this calendar year. I mean, they're that poor, and yet the Dons still couldn't beat them.
Here come the visitors over on the far side. Curtis will deliver. Good delivery. Is it going to be dealt with? Not dealt with just yet, and the free kick has been given for the foul against Jordan Houghton. Harness was the player who fouled him. Good delivery from that far side from Anton Walks, and Nichols will play it short. Ignoring all the booing from the home supporters when they play it short, and Joe Walsh brings it forward over to this near side of Lewington. Lewington stabs it towards Healy. Healy chests it down to take it into the middle of the park, but loses out to Cannon. Now picked up by McGrandles though. Now Kasumu to Lewington on this near side. Lewington does well. brings down Cannon. It's going to be a free kick, and the referee will have a word with Andy Cannon.
He just took his foot away, didn't he?
Not sure whether the number 14 was purposefully gunning for Dean Lewington, but that wasn't it, by the way. Here's Gilby. Gilby on this near side. Gilby, infield to Kasumu, back to Gilby. This is a little better, moving the ball with a bit more purpose and speed. Williams now coming forward over the halfway line, chips it in towards the penalty area. Mason gets in front of his man, tries to head it on, can't get there. It will be cleared by Burgess. Burgess plays it upfield, up towards Harness. Harness takes a touch, good touch from him to Cannon. Cannon now out to this near side. Over the halfway line it goes, infield to Harness, Harness then to Cannon. Cannon tries to take on McGrandles, looks to get past him, but Lewington gets before him. Little tug back from Cannon on Lewington. Lewington evades it though, plays it to Gilby. Gilby on the left-hand side. Here come MK Dons. Can they string something together? In towards Mason. Mason, little touch on the edge of the penalty area to McGrandles. McGrandles to Healy, and Healy's offside. And that was one of the most promising moves of the game so far, Paul. They've actually got into the game a little bit.
Yeah, Gilby at the heart of that twice. He played 2 decent passes, but Healy just strayed. I mean, he couldn't have been more than half a yard offside, but he just strayed offside, and he was frustrated with himself because I think it's one of those games where you're not going to get many chances, certainly, and you're not going to even create too many opportunities. So to be caught offside was just frustrating.
You're supposed to be at home with the cries from the Portsmouth supporters, although they haven't made a huge amount of noise, have they? In all honesty, when you think about Coventry, Lincoln, Southampton, Leicester, lots of the other teams that have brought lots of supporters here, they've all made a lot more.
Even
noise
Northampton bring a lot.
Even
don't
Northampton,
they?
yeah. Little shove in the back of George Williams, or would have thought that was a free kick, but it's not been given. Williams, though, has a chance to collect the ball because Ellis Harrison made a mess of it. Williams will play the ball forward long. Well, I suppose there's the argument against the long ball forward, Paul. A long ball forward to absolutely nobody. Cleared. Kick picked up, though, by Conor McGrandles. Just stabs it inside. He's going about his business quite nicely, as usual, is McGrandles. McGrandles to Lewington over on this near side. Lewington has Kasumu in support. Kasumu plays it back over the halfway line into his own half, and Joe Walsh. Walsh now coming forward in his orange boots. Ever dependable Joe Walsh. Square pass short to Dean Lewington. Lewington gets it back. It's fine, just keep hold of the ball for the time being. That's all they need to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't force it. Let it happen naturally. That was a song, by the way. I can't remember what it was, but...
The second song reference, isn't it, today?
Oh, poor pass from Joe Walsh. Gave the ball away. It's cleared by Portsmouth. Challenge from Jordan Houghton was a good one. Kasumu goes in there and gets to the ball first. I'm not sure he did. That's a long one played forward towards Healy. Healy's trying to get in front of his man. Healy to make it 1-0! Healy got in front of his man! And MK Dons have been battered in this half so far. But it's Rhys Healy who got in front of the defender. An absolute howler between the goalkeeper and the defender. And Healy, against the run of play, has scored for MK Dons. MK Dons 1, Portsmouth 0.
I don't think it was a foul. I mean, I might be proved wrong if when I see that again. I don't think it was. I think it was a really crunching challenge, and I think sometimes you need really crunching challenges. Portsmouth have gone berserk. In particular, James Bolton, who ran across to the fourth official. He's still in the referee's ear. I think it was a great challenge, and then I think the ball over the top. There was still so much work to do, really, for Healy, and he had to get it absolutely right. That's a great goal, actually. That's a really, really well taken goal, and even more so when you've had nothing, absolutely nothing for 35 minutes.
When we say nothing, we mean nothing.
Zip, nada, all that.
You know, that in the dictionary under against the run of play goals, that video is there. I mean, that could lift them. That could lift them.
That was such a well taken goal. Healy he scores almost every time he plays, doesn't he? He's
great finish
top
as well.
Scorer now, out on his own with 5, and that's a finisher though. That's why I think they'll stay up if Healy and Mason, because Mason can do that. Mason did exactly that against that awful game we saw. Was it Coventry in the trophy? Nothing, absolutely nothing, and then he puts one in the bottom corner.
Yeah. 36 minutes played. Huge goal for MK Dons. I'm completely against the run of play, but we don't care. We do not care because it's so huge. Well taken, great finish from Rhys Healey, and the Dons lead here by 1-0. Nichols plays the ball forward, header away for Portsmouth. Into the middle of the park it goes from Ronan Curtis. Ronan Curtis switched over to this near side. Over on the far side it's Walks, taking the ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Good run from him, delivers it across in towards Curtis. Clearance comes from Jordan Houghton. Header back in for Portsmouth, away by Houghton again towards Healey. Healey tried to get onto it, got a little bit lucky. There's Mason taking it on, plays it to Gilby over the halfway line now. He's got 3 men in front of him. Still Alex Gilby, towards the edge of the area. Gilby with a shot. Has it come off a Portsmouth player? Yes, it has. Great run from Alex Gilby. And where have this MK Dons been for the last half an hour?
It's amazing what a goal can do, though, isn't it? Just that little bit of confidence. They know they can break down the Portsmouth defence. And, I mean, Gilby, he does that. He makes those runs and quite often ends up running out of steam, and he's won his team a corner there. Imagine if they went 2 up. I mean, that would be... It's just such a bizarre 37 minutes that we've had. We'd never have thought the Dons could get in front in this game.
Dean Lewington getting loads of abuse as he goes over there. He'll absolutely love that. He'll take his time. He won't listen to a word of it. He'll deliver the ball across. The header away was a good one from the forward, actually, Ellis Harrison, over the back of his shoulder from Conor McGrandles. It is cleared upfield now, and now Portsmouth just lumping it upfield and trying to deal with it. When they have been the dominant side in this game, the better of the two sides, but MK Dons lead, and that's given them confidence. Rhys Healey with the goal, his 5th of the season, 4th in the league, I think. Nichols, upfield it goes. Healey comes in and heads that infield. It's going to be picked up by McGrandles. Clever from McGrandles, there was nothing else to do but go back to Lee Nichols. And Nichols comes into the D and then chips it over to this near side, and Lewington takes a touch. Little flick to Kasumu on the left hand side now, looking to go past his man. Kasumu fouled by Cannon, and is it about time Cannon maybe got more than just a talking to? That's probably the 4th foul he's committed. He's getting close to going in the book, I think. Gilby. Williams long ball. Look at that for a ball back to Gilby. Gilby towards the edge of the penalty area. Gilby just tried to smash it across the 6-yard box. I want to see more from Britton this afternoon. He's been very quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's not getting into the game. But then, from an attacking force, the Dons have been non-existent since they scored 4 minutes ago.
A lot's gone through the middle, hasn't it?
Yeah. Here Lewington been involved, didn't he?
Yeah, he has indeed. Paul McGrandles to Britton. Well, hopefully that's the commentator's curse in reverse now, and he'll fling one in and a goal will be scored. Here's Britton on the right hand side. Britton will deliver it low across towards Mason, I think, was running in. They've not dealt with it yet, Portsmouth, and it's cleared upfield only as far as Lewington. Well, goodness me, what a turnaround this is. Lewington infield to Gilby with a long range effort, shot from Gilby just wide. Goodness me, where has this side been? This is such a turnaround in this game.
Well, Portsmouth are jittery now. Portsmouth can't clear their lines. Portsmouth are smacking the ball long and just hoping for respite. What a difference. I've never, goals make a difference in matches, but this is astonishing.
Well, there was that moment just before the goal where I think Healey was offside, wasn't he?
That's right.
And I said that's the most free-flowing move of the game.
So
it was like a minute before that. And that's where, from that point on, MK Dons have been the better of the two sides. I mean, for half an hour it was scary. I thought, for half an hour they were just dominant without actually, creating hugely clear-cut scoring opportunities, Paul.
Well, no. Nichols made one save down to his right-hand side, a fairly regulation.
Yeah, about 15 minutes
save. And Harness had a couple of deflected, fairly wild efforts out for corners. But no, I mean, Nichols had already been flinging around his.
They're not pressing him now. Have you noticed? And this is what they bank on, Paul.
Yeah.
This is what the MK Dons and Russell Martin banks on. They bank on eventually the forwards just getting tired and not pressing and not chasing the ball down when Nichols and the defenders are passing it around. Harrison is doing it now, though. He's going up against Lee Nichols, and Nichols will play it over to the far side. I think they're trying to create space, is what they're trying to do.
Well, yeah, bring Harness and Harrison and Curtis to the ball, and then suddenly that's 2 or 3 players who suddenly now you've lost as defensive options for Portsmouth. I mean, I do get the point. I just think with fragile confidence, it's you kind of.
And I've said all along I've got no issue with it, other than they do it all the time, and that's what I think. You know, and there was a couple of moments in this half where you're like, no, not now,
that time.
not now.
Yeah.
I understand what you're trying to do, just not now, not at that moment. I suppose it's just a decision-making process in the same way that should a winger pass inwards, pass across, have a go on goal. It's decision-making, isn't it? Anyway, here's Healy in the middle of the park. Will he keep the ball? He does keep the ball. Little short square pass to Callum Britton on the right. The move slightly broke down then when I thought Healy was going to move it on and take it on, but MK Dons have kept the ball. I cannot describe the turnaround in this game. Little chip ball forward to Healy. Healy's inside the area, tries to get it across. Mason's there. Is it going to fall to McGrandles? It's 2-0! MK Dons have got a second goal, and it's Conor McGrandles with a beautiful curling left foot shot into the top corner. At 33 minutes in this game, you would not have believed it possible that MK Dons could be 2-0 up, and that's exactly what they are. What a good goal. What a first half. MK Dons 2, Portsmouth 0.
Absolutely astonishing. You know what, that was so well worked, because you thought that Healy would play in Mason, but I think Mason just got he just waited slightly too long for it, but that's what you get with experience. He had the wherewithal then to not try and just get the shot away anyway. He knew McGrandles was backing up, so he just fed McGrandles, and that is as sweet a strike as McGrandles. McGrandles is
didn't move, did he? He didn't.
No.
He didn't. The only thing that Luke moved was his left foot and his hip.
He didn't no back lift, nothing.
It was
just
stroked it into the top corner, didn't he? And there was almost an element of surprise in my voice, I think, when the ball nestled, because it didn't seem like a goal. It was. Well,
he didn't move after he scored. He just waited for the adulation. He just put his left foot back where it had been when it started, and everyone came to him.
It was like those old football games, you know, where you press a button and the leg just goes like that. Yeah, love it. 2-0. Wow. Well, you know, there we go. There's a beautiful Lewington.
That was nice.
To get
that
a free
one.
kick from Curtis. Yeah. That was a special holiday season, Lewington.
That's going on the front of the book or whatever. That was wonderful. That scoreboard, it's unbelievable. 2-0. Incredible.
Could be huge, could be absolutely huge, this 3 points, if they can hold on to it. I'm finding it so difficult to comprehend what's happened. I didn't see any, and I will say this to Russell Martin, if it stays like this, I will say to him afterwards, I'll say, Russell, I've got to be honest with you, on 30 minutes I thought this game is only going one way, and that's how it felt. Anyway, look, we've got a long way to go, let's not get carried away. Minute before the break here on Three Counties Sport. We'll hear from all the other games then at the half-time period here at Stadium MK, and we'll also listen back as the boys in the studio now run around in panic. We'll listen back to the 3 goals and maybe from yesterday's Premier League game, and indeed maybe a little clip from the manager if we have anything along those lines. That'd be lovely, which I didn't tell you about earlier on. Thanks, boys. Christmas time's always a bit different for us on Three Counties Sport, chasing our tails somewhat. Here's McGrandles, the goal scorer. And does anyone deserve a goal more than Conor McGrandles? Such a calming, solid influence on the side. Goes about his business nicely. Here's Mason. Mason trying to get away from his man. Can't. Clearance comes from Christian Burgess upfield. They look completely ragged now, Portsmouth, don't they, Paul? It's quite incredible.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes have just been the biggest turnaround in a football match I've seen for a very long time. Just got to keep it solid now, yeah.
That's nice. Nice ball played infield. Bolton running on towards that. It's over onto the far side now. Harness to Walks now beaten to the wall by Brett, and the Dons are winning all those challenges, all those 50-50s as well, aren't they? It's really quite
finding space as well.
2 minutes added time. Healy chasing it forward. Is it going to squirt out towards Britain? No, it's going to roll through to the goalkeeper, who will play it first time. He plays it up to Tom Naylor. Little touch from Raggett, and the away supporters aren't enjoying it. (2-0) to MK Dons here on Three Counties Sport. The referee's looking at his watch.
Well, that's what we've got, 40 seconds, so no need to do anything rash. They've got the free kick. Just make sure it's 2-0 at the break. And
Yeah,
then that's an incredible half of football done.
Well, bizarre in many respects. Paul.
Yeah, completely.
I don't think I've
turnaround.
ever seen such a turnaround in a game. Luton are losing by 2-0 at Bristol City. Difficult season for Luton, and of course, if MK Dons do stay up, there'll be potentially Luton MK Dons games next season in the league. Who knows? Anyway, long way to go in both seasons, really is. It's half-time here at Stadium MK. I'm just looking at the replay of the goal now, and definitely not a foul. The Healy with being a shorter, it was Raggett, wasn't it, the player that he was up against, almost just let Raggett head the ball and then ran onto the ball that Raggett gave him, and it's just incredible. And here's the second goal. Mason does just a little flick from Mason. Super.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Healy played it to Mason with the intention, I think, of Mason having the shot. Mason, for me, just allowed the ball to come onto him rather than going to the ball. That, well, it was exceptional timing, Mr. Ashmead, because we're poised and ready to go at the start of this second half here. The referee's just waiting for something. What are we waiting for? We've been ready for about 15 seconds. There we go. We're off.
I think one of his assistants had a microphone issue, had an issue with their earpiece.
It's not like technology to cause a problem in football, is it? Ball back to Raggett in the defence for Portsmouth. They've got some work to do in this half. 2-0 at the break to MK Dons. Appeal, no more, from Pompey. They're kicking from right to left as we look towards their own supporters now, as the ball's played forward almost towards Mason. It does break out to the left-hand side, and David Kasumu, Gilby. So Healy and McGrandles with the goals in that extraordinary first half. Pompey dominated for the opening half an hour or so, but by the end of it, the Dons were in the lead. And here's Gilby, shoots, it's tipped over by the goalkeeper. Gilray, I think it was a little bit one for the cameras. It was a good shot, don't get me wrong. Gilby struck it nicely, but it was quite theatrical from the visiting goalkeeper. But it is a corner for MK Dons.
Great start to the second half, it really is. We know Gilby can hit him, and he's the managers said to him, in fact successive managers have said to him, you need to, for the role that you play in this side, you need to score more goals, and that's a fact. 3 this season, which is relatively competitive actually, but not in a good way necessarily for the Dons. It's going to be a corner kick. Lewington plays it in, edge of the 6-yard box, it's away. Harness plays it on, and it's picked up by Ronan Curtis, the Irishman. Does well, turns, plays it across. Searching ball for Andy Cannon. Last thing Dons need is to concede early in this half. Cannon onto his left foot towards the back post. It's a way of sorts by McGrandles. He almost headed it across his own goal. Cleared by the Dons in the end. It's Healy coming forward, scorer of the first goal. In fact, the 2 goal scorers have combined there to bring the ball away for the home side. Nice and calm, that, wasn't it? Reece Healy, there was this great moment where Reece Healy was just going to lump it upfield, and then stopped and thought there was nobody there, there's no point, and nobody challenged him, so he just brought it out and calmly played to the corner.
2-0 the lead.
The most frustrating thing is when you look at the as it stands table, they're still not out of the relegation zone, even by beating Portsmouth by 2-0. But they are 3 points from getting towards AFC Wimbledon in 18, so it's helpful. Accrington are winning though, Lincoln are winning, and they're the teams just above AFC Wimbledon, Rochdale, Tranmere and MK Dons, so it means more and more.
Yeah, but again, if you go back to, if you get 1 point out of 11 matches, and you're still at Christmas not cast adrift, that's pretty good going. Of course they had a half decent start to the season, which helped. It's
more about how bad the division is, to be honest.
Absolutely, quite. Yeah, I mean, to get, as we've said, it's virtually impossible to get relegated from this division this season. One place was taken by a team who sadly are no more. Another one is likely to be taken by a team who were given a 12-point deduction, and then there's Southend who were just plain dreadful. That's three gone out of the 4. Anyway, ball played forward by Gilby, almost found Mason. It's cleared by Portsmouth up to the halfway line. Ball spends ages in the air before it comes down on the head of Jordan Houghton. Flicked forward by Gilby. Mason again almost got in behind, but Burgess managed to hook the ball away. McGrandles flicks it backwards into the path of Callum Britton. Turns away from Curtis, still going Callum Britton. That's nice from Curtis. Gilby, will he have another dig? He will. He's put that one over. He's far more free, Alex Gilby, though, in this game. He's growing in confidence. Annoyed with himself, he put it over.
I think, Paul, I'd quite like to have seen him play that to Reece Healy on that occasion.
Yeah.
But not knocking it.
Gilby normally has 1 shot a game if you're lucky. He's had 4 in this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
One of them early in this half stung the hands of the goalkeeper. Nice play from
massive gap there.
Harness. Bolton plays the ball in. Harness couldn't quite control it. If he had far too much room in the penalty area there. But Grandals can't get the ball away. It's bobbled back out to the left-hand side, and Ronan Curtis, who dinks the ball into the penalty area, away by Walsh. Only as far as Harness. Couldn't get the ball under control. Kasumi's got to be careful on the edge of the penalty area. It's hooked away by Dean Lewington up to the halfway line. I'm sure we're going to get spells like this in this half, where Portsmouth, backed by all those supporters you can probably hear coming through the airwaves now, are going to have spells in this half. But it's a 2-goal cushion the Dons have got, and you couldn't have dreamt of that after about half an hour. Cannon out to the right hand side, halfway line. Bolton plays it off Kasumu, who wins the throw for his side. 51 minutes played at Stadium MK. It's gone from light to dark very quickly,
hasn't it?
We're now heavily reliant on the floodlights. Curtis, he's got walks to his left, deflected ball into the penalty area. Is straight into the hands of Lee Nichols. They were beaten by 4-1 in their last away game against Accrington Stanley at Portsmouth.
And Accrington Stanley aren't exactly pulling up trees in the division, are they?
No, quite. There were thoughts that Kenny Jackett, former Watford manager of course, would be struggling to save his job after a hammering in the northwest, but he did, and they've come back from that and had 2 good results since. But as we were saying, 8 of the last 11 matches in all competition have been at Fratton Park, as Nichols give the ball away. Harness now approaching the penalty area, plays it in. There's an opportunity for Portsmouth, saved by the legs of Nichols. It was John Marquis who managed to get ahead of his man there, half-time substitute, and it's saved by Nichols.
Well, he made up for his own mistake, didn't he, by coming out quickly. That did Lee Nichols. Marcus's shot was good and it was quick and it was when it needed to be. Here's the delivery. And it comes now. Header, chance at the far post, saved again by Lee Nichols. Great Nichols save. Was out quickly, and that was the difference between Curtis halving the deficit and not. It's another corner. Yeah. The Dons, though, are under the cosh a little bit at the start of this second half. I think, as we probably expected to happen, the ball is played in from this corner. Nichols comes for it, manages to get the punch on it. He was fouled, or somebody was fouled. I think it might have been Walsh, and it's a free kick to MK Dons and a chance to breathe. That was always going to happen, as you said at the beginning of this second half, that Portsmouth are going to come out and they're a bit more fired up. Marcus, we know what a good player he is. We know how dangerous he is. He scored against MK Dons before. They've just got to ride this. They've got to ride this 10, 15 minutes, settle down, keep the cushion.
Nichols has been caught there, and it might well be a booking for Marquis.
Well, Marquis ran across him, didn't he, as he was clearing the ball? He ran across him, and Marquis ran across him, and he kicked. Marquis, I don't think Marquis is going to get a card or a talking to.
I don't think the Portsmouth fans are particularly enamoured with Lee Nichols, who has recovered fairly quickly, you have to say, but he's won the free kick. He did show too much of it to Marquis again, though. There's no question about it.
And the away fans are telling the rest of us and Lee Nichols what they think.
54 minutes played. MK Dons 2, Portsmouth 0. Three Counties Sport on BBC Three Counties Radio. 5:05 on a Sunday evening. Coming live from here at Stadium MK in around about 55 minutes with Luke. What will we be talking about? Another...
Well, at the moment, I'll be talking about MK Dons being the only positive result that we've got in 4 AFL games in the on Three Counties Sport, which you wouldn't have put your money on.
No. Ball forward, Gilby's after it for the Dons. Mason's in some space if Gilby can get the better of Raggett. He can't. And Sean Raggett, former county man, plays it forward. It's a difficult one for Walsh. He did well, though. Equally difficult for Callum Britton. He's done well as well. Then absolutely battered it down the line. Rugby style almost for a line out, but it's a throw to Portsmouth. Raggett isn't hugely interested in taking the throw. He wants his fullback to do it. Walks will take it. Healy and McGrandles with the goals. McGrandles with his 3rd of the season. Healy with his 5th. McGrandles, that's a pathetic Lewington he's just pulled there, but he's run the free kick nonetheless. It's a free kick to the Dons. 10 minutes of the second half played. There's plenty forward for the Dons. They've only not sent Britton and the free kick taker Lewington forward, actually. Even Houghton, who's sitting in front of the back four in this game, is forward. Lewington drives the ball in. It's nowhere near anyone in white, and Portsmouth clear. Kasumu's got to pick up. He does so, nods it back to the halfway line. Awkward one for Britton, who does enough to get it into the Portsmouth half, but it is Pompey who have it. Marquis battling in the centre circle with Lewington. The ball falls to first Houghton and then Walsh, and Walsh hammers it away. Raggett to Walks, now close, loops the ball forward, headed away well by George Williams. Throw to the visitors, looking for a way back into this game. Walks plays a 1-2 with Andy Cannon. Back to Walks once again. Walks cuts in field, halfway inside the MK Dons half. He's making life quite difficult for himself, going backwards and forward, but he does find Cannon once again. Cannon back to Curtis. Cannon was dumped on the floor by Jordan Houghton, and the referee has decided that there was no advantage and gives the free kick eventually to Portsmouth. There's not a lot to talk about at the moment, actually. Not a lot happening. It's just...
There really isn't. It's possible that Russell Martin's just said, you know, don't do anything in the first 10 minutes. Literally don't do anything, because they haven't. Ball
played in then by Close, headed up and away, edge of the penalty area. Healy couldn't quite get there. Harness is left-hand side of the penalty area, battling and scrapping. It was good play from Callum Britton. Mason keeps it in play, and Mason wins the throw. And they've done that quite well today.
Yeah,
actually.
really well. As a team, in all honesty. And so when we were talking about that dominant period in the first 30 minutes for Portsmouth, we weren't talking about too many goal-scoring opportunities, because as a team they have defended well. Even when they've caused themselves their own problems from passing it around at the back, they have defended well.
Flicked on by Mason, up to Healy. Kasumu is supporting, as is Gilby, who's just strayed offside. Gilby, and Healy drew the challenge, allowed to go on though. Kasumu into the penalty area. Kasumu! Oh, Mason's touch took him away. Now it's back out to Lewington. There's still an opportunity in towards Healy, cleared by Raggett.
Well, Gilby was, had Mason not touched it, Gilby was side-footing into the back of the net. And Gilby knows it. He's not saying too much to Joe Mason.
Well, Healy's just puffing and panting a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
He hasn't played more than about 25-30 minutes since September, and he's just puffing here. And of course before that he hadn't had a huge amount of football, because he'd been sitting on the bench at the Cardiff City Stadium.
Sam Nombe on the bench.
Yep.
Could make an explosive appearance this afternoon. In fact, I think he probably will, for Healy. You don't suddenly just play 90 minutes week in, week out, but
approaching the hour mark on Three Counties Sports. BBC Three Counties Radio, Luke Ashmead and Paul Dixon at Stadium MK. Dons 2-0 up against Portsmouth, looking for a third here with this free kick over on the left-hand side. Lewington and McGrandles are over it. It will be the captain to swing it in. Flicked up by Healy! Almost an own goal. Raggett diving to make sure the ball wasn't gobbled up by any in white, and he almost put it in his own net. I think it probably wasn't as close as I thought it was, but it was quite close.
Oh, I thought it was close as well, because I had a little moment. I wonder, had he not had that header, whether George Williams at the far post would have come in and had a really clear header.
I think that's why he knew he had to get it away, Raggett, no matter what. Yeah, but
it's good response this, isn't it, Paul? From that first 10 minutes of Portsmouth being decent in this half and having a reaction from going 2-0 behind. It's a good reaction from MK Dons.
Corner kick driven in towards the edge of the penalty area. Walsh with the header, Mason with the shot. Healy! Oh, it's in the keeper's hands. He had a second bite at it because McGilvray couldn't quite take it at the first option.
But the Dons look like a side who can score. They look like a side who can craft chances. They look like a side who can defend. I mean, it's just so much better.
Good play from Kasumu down the left-hand side. Healy's screaming for it. He knows where he wants it. It's put over the top. Keeper will just get... the defender, Raggett, will just get there ahead of Rhys Healy. Good play from Kasumu again, who's growing into this game. David Kasumu looks just a little as if he's almost advanced in years just in the last half an hour or so. Not shrinking away, as I do feel Kasumu kind of goes within himself in games. He's only played 25-30 games in his career, so he's not blessed with experience, but that was a good play from him there. Ball's back with Lee Nichols, who's cleared it out to the right-hand side, up towards Callum Britton, chests it down Britton, but it was a Portsmouth foot. Williams back to Nichols, who clears first time. Up to the halfway line. Raggett away. Mason and half of Cowshed were appealing there for handball, but the referee said no. Rhys Healy,
brilliant from Rhys. That's
he seems
really
to have taken
good.
that moment just to get his breath back, and he's got his energy back. Rhys Healy. Ball back with Lee Nichols.
And Paul, don't you think just lovely to have two different strikers like Healy and Mason? They're so different in their own little ways, you know.
Healy there with a strong challenge, and then a foul on Kasumu. Portsmouth will wonder, I think, why Rhys Healy's shoulder barge wasn't given, but Marcus Harness has gone into the book for that challenge on David Kasumu. It gives, and this is the whole point that we've been making over recent times, is that if you've got a striker, never mind two, who can score, if you've got confidence, no matter how the game is going, and this was the absolute epitome of that, no matter how a game is going, you've got at least one striker who might just be able to score out of nothing.
Yeah.
62 minutes played at Stadium MK. Lewington lifts it in, Walsh flicks it on, cleared by Walks, flicked on by Curtis, straight to a white shirt. Kasumu. Britton back to his goalkeeper. Nichols will clear. It's a great clearance, but Harness couldn't pick it up. They're first at every challenge now. And again, Houghton unlucky there as he got the boot in, but was unable to find Gilby. Harness, halfway line, plays a 1-2 with Bolton. Harness plays it forward, and it's picked up by Walsh, who plays it forward down the left-hand side, and Gilby, he's got Mason ahead of him. Healy's finding his way into the penalty area. Gilby held onto it for probably too long, and Naylor can bring it away. Passes it into Harness, and now Ben Close across to Sean Raggett. He's got Anton Walks in support. Walks just short of the halfway line, cuts inside and plays a ball across, which is cut out by Dean Lewington, and now a turn by Conor McGrandles. He just overran it slightly, but he kept possession. Kasumu to the right of the centre circle, holds on to it, finds Alex Gilby, had to just make sure the ref didn't get in the way of that, and Dean Lewington on the left-hand side up towards Joe Mason. 2-0 to the Dons with 63 minutes played. Back to David Kasumu, keep ball from the Dons, that's nice from Kasumu, to Conor McGrandles, back to David Kasumu. They're being pushed back a little bit, but they're retaining possession. Joe Walsh, the Welshman, plays the ball forward, looking for the run of Mason. Burgess made a bit more of that than he needed to, that clearance, but he does get it forward. It's played in behind looking for Marquis, and Joe Walsh smashes it into the stand.
That's the old school Joe Walsh, isn't it? Hit it as hard as you can. Actually, it didn't go that high, it kind of went back on itself, didn't it? I was going to say row Z, but it actually ended up in row A, didn't it?
Yeah.
But
high up
20 metres further down the pitch.
Portsmouth coming forward. Harness is challenged
by Lewington, Paul, sorry.
Mason unable though to find McGrandles. That was a shame because they could have had 3-on-3 there. Halfway line is Anton Walks, plays it forward. Houghton, there's an unnecessary foul there from Houghton actually. I think Andy Cannon just backed into him, and Houghton didn't give him any room, and over went Cannon, and it's a free kick. That's a shame actually, because they were breaking these attacks down with quite a lot of ease. Portsmouth got a chance to throw one in now. 2-0 with 20 minutes of the second half negotiated. Ben Close into the penalty area, nodded down into the hands of Lee Nichols.
Yeah, you really feel you know, as if a Portsmouth goal, you know, at this point would make this an unbearably nerve-wracking kind of game. I think it would put MK Dons into their shells. Yeah, Mason's offside, Paul.
Offside, yep. Depending on when they get it, you worry that one goal becomes two, becomes three. It's that type of Dons.
Because we've seen it so many times, haven't we? We've seen it so many times in the last 3 years. Yeah, absolutely.
They've got to start hanging on to leads, and then in subsequent matches, as the ball's played forward by Curtis, and Houghton will try and see this one out, and he does well there. Anywhere else on the pitch, that's obstruction, but it's not there, so it's a goal kick. Yeah, the more they can hang on to leads, the more they will, in subsequent matches, be confident when they go in front, and I think that's been an issue. They went in front twice against Southend and were pegged back.
Yeah,
they went in front against Rotherham and they were pegged back just because they just don't have. I know they did hold the lead against Oxford, but they couldn't against Doncaster. And it's just believing in yourself that you can not even hang on, but just keep leads and win football matches. Ball played forward by Lee Nichols. Portsmouth have it. They're just seeing a little bit more of the ball the last couple of minutes. Raggett. Dons need to try and keep them at arm's length. Played forward over the top. It was allowed to bounce. Joe Walsh with the header. He's possibly nodded that straight out of play. Lee Nichols will keep it in play. He's out of his goal though now. As it comes down, it's nodded down. No one was able there though in a purple shirt to have the shot as Nichols scrambles back to his goal. Here's Ben Close now, just outside the penalty area. Marcus Harness. Harness with his back to goal. Out to the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Ronan Curtis back to Harness again. They're trying to squeeze the ball into the penalty area. Harness with the shot. It's blocked by George Williams. Cleared by the Dons, but Portsmouth have it back. A spell of pressure as we approach the halfway point in the second half. The Dons leading by 2-0. Burgess plays it forward. Now Naylor, former Derby man, swings the ball into the penalty area towards Marquis. It's hit the knee there of Callum Britton. I think there was a really odd appeal for handball from the Portsmouth fans, but it was nowhere near at all. McGilvray plays the ball forward.
Matt Godden's got a hat-trick at Adams Park. Coventry winning 4-1 there. AFC Wimbledon 1, Oxford United 2. Tranmere 1-1. Just looking at the other games that affect MK Dons, really.
Nombe for Healy. So I think we can safely say Rhys Healy has put a shift in.
Huge shift, really great performance, good goal, perfect.
12,788 the attendance. I'd imagine just maybe a little under half of that have made the trip from the south coast. Healy then opened the scoring at a time when the Dons were under the cosh. Completely turned this game on its head. Ball played forward, but Portsmouth are trying to get back in the game now. Cannon, Curtis. Curtis with the shot. It's palmed away by Nichols. We had an exceptional view of that. And it was curling away, wasn't it?
It might have been, if not the outside of the post, just wide of the post, Paul. Yeah.
Nichols wasn't sure, and he did the right thing, and he palmed it away. We've had 23 minutes of the second half. Luke, it's your turn. 2-0 to the Dons. Luke, to take you to full time.
Yeah, just announcing the attendance here, 12,788, and it's a corner for Portsmouth in front of their fans. To our left-hand side, they're losing by 2-0. MK Dons on course for 3 points. Can they hold on? Corner to be taken from that far side. Is it close to take it? I think it is. Right-footed delivery. Header away was a decent one for MK Dons. It's come as far as Cannon. Cannon inside the area. He'll get it across towards the far post. Plenty of bodies there and over the bar. And Russell Martin was jumping and moving and heading a little bit like we see Gareth Ainsworth do on the sideline there. As the ball was over the bar, he was pushing it over a bit further himself. And it's a goal kick for Lee Nichols to take. 69 minutes played on 3 County Sport. MK Dons 2, Portsmouth 0. Only now goal difference separates them from being outside of those places. Portsmouth have been better in this second half than they were in the final kind of 15 minutes of the first half. And they've actually tested Lee Nichols. Free kick for Ben Close to take for Portsmouth. Don't forget, you can have your say in Three Counties 505 on Three Counties Sport this afternoon, where you can react to all the results and all the scores and everything that you think. Here's Close with the delivery, right-footed into the penalty area. Header towards the far post and the number 6 Burgess. Burgess will play the ball towards Cannon, will he? Little tries to get it through to Cannon. Cannon almost gets there, and Jordan Houghton comes across and says... offside flag's gone up. Apologies, I was carrying on with the commentary, and the offside flag went up, I think, for the pass to Cannon from Burgess. I think that was the offside flag. And Lee Nichols has gone across, and no doubt, Paul, the Dons players will take their time with free kicks and goal kicks and throws and everything that they can take their time with, because they all know a clean sheet and 3 points here would be huge for confidence.
Massive. And you are looking at quite a good run then, aren't you?
Raggett closed down by Nombe. He's made another mistake as Sean Raggett, having a bit of a shocker today. Here's Nombe twisting and turning, needs a bit of support, has it with McGrandles. McGrandles now towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Britton. Britton has a shot, ever from Britton over the bar, and that all came about. Raggett just dwelt on it far too long. Nombe stepped in and said, okay, well, if you're not going to do anything with it, I'll challenge you. Did, created that chance, and Britton puts it over the bar. Yeah,
great play from Nombe, really strong play. He is different to Healy. He offers something slightly different, and he charged that down, did really well, took advantage. Britton just always rising, that wasn't it? Shame he couldn't keep it down. A couple of changes for Portsmouth.
So Brett Pittman comes on. Is he still playing? Pittman comes on for Cannon. He's been going a while, hasn't he, Brett Pittman? Anyway, and Evans comes on for Harness. So Evans and Pittman on, Harness and Cannon off, as Kenny Jackett rolls the last throw then, his last roll of the dice. Did Callum Britton foul number 11 Ronan Curtis? He did. Curtis isn't happy. It's nothing more than a yellow card. It's not a yellow card.
He's waving his... Oh, that's not good, is it? He's waving his hand.
It wasn't a yellow card.
It's a shove. You know, there's been about 4 of those today, and he hasn't booked anyone for, so he can't now start.
Plus, I think that's the first time that Callum Britton's been pulled up for doing anything. It's not a yellow card. It's not. See, the thing is, that's not a yellow card at the beginning of the game, or in the 60th minute, or in the 91st minute. That's not a yellow card. No. So it shouldn't be a yellow card. Anyway, free kick, edge of the penalty area. 73 minutes played. Portsmouth with a chance here. Can they get back into it? Low drive. I'm just trying to see who that was throwing their body on the line. Callum Britton.
It was Callum Britton, yeah.
It was Callum Britton, who I think headed the ball from the floor or something along those lines.
It was, I think he obviously he was anticipating that ball lifting off the ground.
Here comes the corner, right for the delivery. Decent corner, that one, header goalwards! Oh, and it goes across the 6-yard box. It's not been dealt with yet. Flicked forward, but Nombe has the chance to get it away, and Nombe does well because he just hits it against Close, and it goes out of play and will be a throw to MK Dons. Well, the header was played across Lee Nichols to Lee Nichols' left-hand side, and then it came across him to his right-hand side, but it went wide. That looked dangerous, and it's difficult for us because of our angle, isn't it? You don't know how close they are, but dangerous anyway. Portsmouth will be dangerous. Here's Nombe. Nombe was fouled. Nombe's added a spark, hasn't he?
Just at a time, you know, it's great having one player, but two is, and what I mean, having 2 players come back like they've got in Healy and Nombe, you know, replace one with the other. Brilliant.
Well, I tell you what, fair play to Russell Martin. He's not going to bring on defenders. He's going to go for the third. He's going to go for the killer blow because he's going to bring on Kieran Agard. So rather than play defensively, I kind of like that. I like that. Here's Lewington forward. Away by Burgess, picked up by Houghton.
He's played well today.
Yeah.
I think. It's his best game for a long time.
Britton. McGrandles, another player who's played well, including a stunning goal. Back to George Williams. Not sure about yellow boots, mine, but there we go. They're a thing these days. forward from Nichols to Houghton. Houghton out to this near side. Williams keeps it in play, needs a bit of support, having his angles shut off. And now Nichols, I don't think Nichols was actually aware that he was going to send that back to him, was he?
No,
Nichols plays it long up towards Nombe. Well, it comes inside to Gilby. Gilby now running on. Mason's there. Can he get it to Mason? No, he can't. Plays it to Kasumu. Kasumu side the penalty out. Looks for options. Plays it back to Gilby. Gilby chose the wrong choice there. Mason was the pass. Didn't make it to him. And Mason had stayed on side as well. And a defender had run back to make sure he was on side. Here's Mason. Mason now back to Gilby. Gilby some way out, but he plays it forward to Lewington on the edge of the penalty area. Just keep the ball now, chaps, as much as you can. Try and carve something, but keep the ball in towards Mason. Mason's onside. Mason tries to cut it back onto his left foot. Maybe should have played it across to Nombe. Lewington picks it up. It's not defended well. Here's Kasumu. Kasumu with the shot into the goalkeeper's arm. Portsmouth are all over the place defensively.
Yeah, they're ragged. Oh, sorry, ragged, aren't they, at the back?
Nice. Was that your offering for today?
That's it. I'm done. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Portsmouth trying again. We've got 14 minutes remaining here on Three Counties Sport, and in this game, as Kasumu blocks out a ball played in from that far side, and then it's dealt with nicely. Mason passes it back to Dean Lewington. Lewington with a long ball forward. Mason towards Nombe. Nombe just trying to steal in behind. I mean, is he going to take Joe Mason off?
Yeah, well, it's the only logical.
Yeah.
I mean, Mason's played a lot of football, hasn't he? And when was the last time Mason played two games in 3 or 4 days? You know, it would have been a long time ago, actually. So
Mason knows, doesn't he? I think he's just desperate. Yeah. He wants the goal. Nombe shoved over. Challenge for Kasumu on Christian Burgess. And Kasumu's going to get a yellow card. All a little unnecessary, to be honest with you. And here comes the change. Mason goes off. And Kieran Agard comes on. I think, I mean, quite frankly, Russell Martins looked at what his side have done today and said, you know what, defensively, we've been. Why would I change anything apart from what's gone on up front? I'm 2-0 up.
Well, he's got a bit of pace and a bit of fresh legs up front now, which actually
he'll cause him some problems, won't he?
Yeah, where he needs it more. You know, defensively, don't jolt the unit, don't move anybody about, because they're working well.
Houghton jumps. McGrandles jumps and wins the ball. And then Nombe back to McGrandles. McGrandles taking it on. Good play from McGrandles. McGrandles kind of got in Nombe's way there. Sorry, Nombe got in McGrandles' way, is what I meant to say. But to be fair to Sam Nombe, he was trying his hardest to help McGrandles out. I think just he wasn't quite sure that McGrandles was going along the line, wasn't he? He wanted him out of the way. Anyway, it's come off Portsmouth player and will be a throw. Callum Britton with the throw to McGrandles. Now Britton. Oh, lovely feet from Britton again. Cuts back and this time loses out. And Curtis, who's shouting at some of the defenders.
He's got a lot to say, hasn't he? Ronan Curtis.
Curtis comes in. Callum Britton gets there first, smashes it against Curtis' legs, and it's gone behind for a corner. He's not happy as Curtis. They look, to me, like a team without leadership to Portsmouth. Pound for pound, player for player, they've probably got a far better squad than Gatons. But anyway, here's Lewington with the delivery. Across it goes. Houghton comes in, just arrived a little too early in many respects, and Houghton gets a whack on the head, and it's gone behind. And we've got 11 minutes remaining plus added time. Paul Dixon, what an important 11 minutes for this football club. Yeah,
absolutely huge. Yeah, you don't want to say too much because you worry you curse it, but you know, they just need to do what they've been doing.
Yeah, just carry on. Exactly that. Here is Curtis. All played back to the substitute. Here's Close, although he's not that close, he's quite a distance away from me. That's my final one, by the way.
Cool. Yeah, I wondered if it would be him. I thought it probably would.
Down the line it goes. Pittman walks, cross it goes. Well, I'll tell you what, they can't do much more than that. It's really well crafted, but the shot from John Marquis just didn't quite have the sting and the power, but he played it first time and it was nicely set up, but straight into the arms of Lee Nichols.
Yeah, I mean, didn't connect. It was a great ball in from Walks, absolutely. Flung that one in, really good, but Marquis, he almost hit it with his studs rather than the actual boot.
Yeah.
I think he got something on it, but it was straight at Nichols.
Yeah, they're passing it around outside their own penalty area, and you see what happens when you're 2-0 up and you succeed. Everyone starts clapping you. That's a lovely, to be fair, it's a lovely ball forward towards Gilby. Gilby now running at the defenders. Gilby with a shot. Oh, it's just wide from Alex Gilby. How many shots has he had today?
5.
5 shots from Alex Gilby. I don't know what it is. They won't challenge him when he's running forward, will they? Great shot from Gilby. Another shot from Gilby.
His best game for a while, I think.
Yep.
This is the Gilby that almost single-handedly kept the Dons, or tried to keep the Dons up a couple of seasons ago, where I thought he was the best player by a mile in that team.
Yeah. Sam Nombe chasing this one down, but Burgess will release it over to the far side. Dons have just got to be focused. 9 minutes remaining. 9 minutes. That's it, folks. We haven't seen much in the way of victories this season. Last one here against Oxford, who are going second as it stands. And then could this be
08081 00 88 00.
Britain towards Agard, who, well, I think it might have been towards Nombe actually. Agard just got in the way. Here's Walks running forward. Challenge from Jordan Houghton, and then Britain steps in. You're right, Houghton's been superb today. Oh, the whole team. Apart from that first 30 minutes where offensively there was nothing, and I mean nothing, they've played very, very well. Ben Close for Portsmouth. 8 minutes left, we're counting. 2-0 to MK Dons here on Three Counties Sport. We'll have reaction from this game from the manager Russell Martin, and of course a player. We'll also get reaction from our other featured games this afternoon. Luton, Wickham, Stevenage and MK Dons.
Somebody kicked out there. Somebody kicked out. I think it was... Well, I thought it was the Portsmouth player, but...
Who's that getting involved? Is it...
It's Gilby getting involved. Williams has run about 50 yards to get involved.
Yeah, but not pushing and shoving. There were two players on the floor. Then Gilby got up and was a little bit annoyed, and I think the Portsmouth player kicked out at him, so Gilby just shoved him down.
Yeah, there's definitely a kick out there, and the official, the assistant, is pointing. I think I wouldn't be absolutely surprised if we don't see a red card here, you know. I think maybe Marquis is the person involved.
Let's have a look. Well, is it Gilby that's being caught? No, he's not going to do anything.
Is he? Well, there's a yellow card for Walsh.
Well, yellow card for Walsh. So that's not...
Okay. He didn't seem to be involved in that at all, but there you go.
Okay. And a yellow card for Christian Burgess.
Right, Burgess, okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad there were no red cards for MK Dons players. It's the last thing they need right now after what has so far been a really good afternoon. What that has done is wasted a bit more time, I have to say. 6.5 minutes remaining in this game. But Portsmouth have a free kick. Right-hand side, just over the halfway line. It's delivered right-footed, floated in towards the edge of the penalty area. Bounces once in towards Curtis. Curtis gets his head on it. Clearance comes in from Callum Britton up towards Nombe. Nombe challenging with Close. Nombe just tenacious and strong. And Nombe going forward. Tries to get it to Gilby. Great pass to Gilby. Gilby can get it over the goalkeeper. And Gilby scores! Alex Gilby with his 6th shot of the afternoon. He's thoroughly deserved that here at Stadium MK. Lovely finish from Gilby, but do not forget that through ball from Sam Nombe. Wonderful finish for MK Dons. They've got 3 goals and 3 points. points. Done and dusted here at Stadium MK. MK Dons 3, Portsmouth 0.
Tell you what, Luke, everybody, including Lee Nichols, was down on this near side. Almost everybody from the bench as well congratulating Alex Gilbey. I rarely, in this position, when you're commentating or summarising, I rarely clap a goal, but that was so well worked. And as Gilbey ran on, you thought, chip him, the keeper's coming out, and he did, and that's his 6th attempt in this game, and he's got his goal, and he really deserves it, Alex Gilbey. I haven't felt he's been at his best all season. Today he's been so good going forward, and he deserves his goal so much, Alex Gilbey. Really good finish. Game over. Brilliant.
3-0 to MK Dons. What I can tell you, I think unless there's been a change elsewhere, that might, goal difference wise, I'll double check, but I think unless there's been any other goals, that might take them out of the bottom 3. I'll let you do that.
I'll do that, you do it.
I'm pretty sure. There might have been goals elsewhere, but it's possible they could be out of the relegation zone on goal difference. I'm not 100% sure. We'll check that for you now. You'll be knowing if you're listening at home, because you'll be looking at all that as it happens. 3 Counties Sport on BBC 3 Counties Radio. Cross, Beds, Hearts and Bucks. Curtis tries to get the ball inside. 3-0. It's game over here now, but the clean sheet is hugely important.
They're still where they are, unless I might be waiting for it to be updated. We just check it again in a few moments.
It's Tranmere, isn't it?
Yeah, who are 1-1, but they haven't updated the Dons' 3rd goal yet, so it's quite.
I think that puts Tranmere in the bottom 3 and MK Dons out. And do you know what? Psychologically, that is something. It's important, because they need, as a team, to see that what they're doing is moving them in the right direction. They are out by goal difference. MK Dons out of the bottom 3.
And a point from Rochdale, 2 points from AFC Wimbledon. They could theoretically, and this is me getting ahead of myself, Luke, if they beat Bristol Rovers, you could be 18th. They've been in bottom 3 for 2 months now, but by New Year's Day evening they could theoretically be 18th. That's how it can, not quickly, but that's how it can change. This has been a wonderful hour after that. Yep. And let's take that first half an hour though and say, okay, they weren't offensively at the races, but they didn't concede. They were under the cosh for half an hour. Now, how many times have we seen MK Dons concede early? Be under pressure for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1-0 down. Here, Ipswich, wasn't it? Southend. All these games this season where they've gone a goal down early, and Burton Albion, 5 minutes in, a goal down. Game after game after game, they went a goal down early on and never recovered, and ended up losing 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. But they held on today.
Here's Nombe inside the area, picked up by Gilbey. Gilbey taking it on, he delivers it across, and there's nobody there. And I think Gilbey's probably thinking, hold on a minute, I've done all the hard work, where were you? Sam Nombe's had such an impact since he's come on. Really has. He's just been an absolute menace. The last player in the world you'd want to come on when you're tired and you're trying to get a goal back and defend. Sam Nombe, he's been great. That ball they've completely gone. Their heads have gone. The Portsmouth players, they are all over the place right now. They have given up, and I wonder how difficult this could be for Kenny Jackett. 3-0 defeat against the side who were in the relegation zone. That's going to mean something to the powers that be.
Well, that's a 4-0 defeat against Accrington, a 4-1 defeat against Accrington, isn't it? And a 3-0 defeat at the moment anyway, with 90 seconds to go here. On the road, they can't seem to do it. Great at home.
Kenny Jackett in charge of the 4th highest South Coast club, of course.
Waiting to say that, haven't you? Has that been in the locker?
Maybe. I don't know. It's true. It's a statement of fact.
Yeah, that's all.
Southampton, Brighton and Bournemouth are all above Portsmouth, of course. somebody's going to say to me that they're going to bring up another South Coast club that's further around each way. I'm just trying to think. Is there anyone going the other way? Exeter? They're not on the coast.
No, they're not coast. No. I need to get a map out.
I'm just enjoying myself this afternoon because we've got 30 seconds of this game remaining, and MK Dons are on course for a 3-0 victory. Delivery low by Brett Pittman and into the arms of Lee Nichols, who will just take a little bit of time to get up and compose himself. Well. Ben Reeves will come on. I think probably for Alex Gilby.
He is running. I do think the two at the tip and the base of the diamond today, it's such an important role, that, because if you don't have that player in front of the back four helping your defence,
Kasumu caught,
and you don't have the player at the tip of the diamond helping the attack, it falls apart, and both have been good today.
Have a listen to this. So Alex Gilby, announced as man of the match, gets a standing ovation as he's taken off and replaced by Ben Reeves. What a performance from MK Dons number 8. Alex Gilby stepped up to the mark this afternoon and has put in a fabulous performance. Reeves is the player to go on. MK Dons leading by 3-0.
Look at that, smiles on the bench.
This afternoon couldn't have gone much better, really.
Sorry, Luke. Just seeing a player come off in an MK Dons shirt with a massive grin has been something I don't think I've seen for months and months. You know, it's just been a long time in the making, that.
Clearance from Portsmouth. Still just got a little bit of work to do, because what's important now is not the victory, they've won this game, is the clean sheet. Massive. That's just as massive, the clean sheet. A few of the stewards going across there to just make sure none of the Portsmouth players are going to get, Portsmouth fans are going to get up to any trouble.
Well, half of them are gone, haven't they?
And when you say half of them gone, there are about half of the people that were originally there who have gone, yeah. Out to this near side. Walks for Portsmouth. What an afternoon to be a Don supporter. And if you've missed this and you've been listening, have your say. If you're getting into your car now, somewhere around the stadium here at Milton Keynes, I'd love to hear what you think about the performance this afternoon. Those people who you think were man of the match is Curtis. Curtis towards the edge of the penalty area. Lewington comes across. Was he fouled? No. Now Britton loses the ball to Walks. That was unnecessary. Walks out to this near side. They do not want to give a goal away now. Evans for Portsmouth, off to Walks. Walks will deliver, left-footed delivery, high ball, looping towards the far post, headed back across. Oh, and they've got a goal. No. Scoring run going, Roland Curtis. But it is nothing more.
It's consolation.
Oh, it is a consolation.
Yeah, he's blown his because of the kerfuffle in the net, was it?
I thought it. Yes, no, it has been given as a goal, and that, I have to say, is a really sour note at the end of this game, because it puts them back in the bottom. That's a real annoyance. They've got the consolation goal of Portsmouth, and it's MK Dons 3, Portsmouth 1. Apologies, the reason I stopped commentary then was because I thought he disallowed it, but he was blowing the whistle because there was a bit of a kerfuffle in the goal, and that came from Callum Britton's mistake, and he is responsible for that. That's really annoying. 3-1, and we are in the last seconds of this game, and Russell Martin will be so annoyed with that.
Yeah, that's disappointing. It was unnecessary. Callum Britton's had a decent game. Instead of just clearing it, he faffs about with it, and that's how close they were to a clean sheet. But
the fans don't care, because here, full time at Stadium MK, the whistle's gone, and it's 3 points. That was always the most important thing. It's just a minor frustration, of course, that it's not a clean sheet. 2 goals coming in the first half, and then the third goal, which really topped off a wonderful afternoon after 30 minutes where Paul, the visitors, were in possession and the way they played their football, for 30 minutes they were dominant.
Absolutely dominant. They had 80% possession, a number of shots without really making Lee Nichols have to extend himself too much. But the defence, you know, unquestionably, when he's asked about it, Russell Martin will talk about how the defence stood firm, and possibly it was part of the game plan, and even if it wasn't, you know, they didn't crumble, they didn't go under. I mean, we talked about how they looked like they were waiting for Portsmouth to score, but Healy, this is what, you know, we've said 100 times, this is what you get when you've got quality strikers at a football club, strikers who can make something out of nothing. Long ball over the top, Healy gets onto it, and suddenly the whole complexion of the game changes. The Dons are ahead. 5 minutes later they're 2-0 up, and they've taken the game away, and suddenly it was Portsmouth who looked fragile, and Portsmouth who looked like they were unsure of themselves. And they you know, it was a second half where Portsmouth did okay with regards to possession and looked like they might threaten, but the Dons defended again excellently, and then got their third goal through Alex Gilbey, who thoroughly deserved that goal. And there were performances on that pitch I've not seen for a long time from players in MK Dons shirts. Jordan Houghton, I thought he was exceptional. Alex Gilbey, exceptional. Conor McGrandles was excellent today. Dean Lewington put in his best shift for a little while. George Williams and Joe Walsh played together really, really well at the back. You know that. And then you've got Sam Nombe to come on instead of Reece Healy. David Kasumu had a good game. You can't really, you know, Alex Gilbey was man of the match, Luke, but you can't really say that anybody was head and shoulders above the rest. It was just an excellent performance.
It really was, and the players head off, all being congratulated by Pete Winkelman as they leave the pitch. Alex Gilbey there, Lee Nichols with Harley and Sam Nombe, and the last person to leave the pitch will be Russell Martin.